Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Nifty Dreams Founders Town Hall. I am back with you on the YouTube stream, where I see a few of you there, and also on the Twitter space. So I'll be taking questions from the YouTube stream, and I'll just primarily be using the Twitter space for audio output. But I'll check the comments there on Twitter also and get those also. But anyway, I am back now in Mountain View, California, after 2 weeks in Dubai. So really glad to be home. But oh my God, jet lag is no fun. When you go from west to east, it was easy. Like I had no problems at all in Dubai. But oh my God, coming back from east to west, it has been brutal. I have not had a good time with my sleep schedule and things like that. I don't sleep a whole lot, but my gosh, it's been terrible. So, all right, let me start by wishing all of you a happy Diwali. This is a beautiful time of the year. The Festival of Lights celebrates the triumph of good over evil, and it's an auspicious time for Hindus all over the world. So, happy Diwali to everyone who is celebrating. And I know it's the time for family and friends. We had a small get together here last night at our place. We had 10 of our family friends get together, and we had a little kind of dosa party. So dosa is a South Indian dish. So we had a person here who we hired to actually make dosas live. So it was kind of good to go and say, I want this kind of dosa, and they just made it, and it was awesome. So we had a lot of fun, and I wore my traditional Indian attire, and I will not be sharing photos of that, but it was definitely fun. But thanks again for taking the time to join me on this stream. I really appreciate it. Uh, I wanted to give you an update on all things DAO related and make sure that everyone's in the loop. So let's see. I think I gave you an update while I was in Dubai, but I just kind of refresh a few things. So my main priority, like after getting to Dubai, was to better understand the crypto laws there, the regulations, etc., and to meet with a few people and understand how well they have found or experienced dealing with the bureaucracy there, that about crypto regulation, etc. So previously, we had tried to get going in Singapore, but it turned out to be such a slow and arduous process that I couldn't take it anymore. And so my visit in Dubai had a dual purpose. I wanted to also figure out if that would be a suitable venue rather to incorporate. And I found the answer is yes. And so the process is underway. We actually submitted one round, and then they came back with some questions and a questionnaire. And I got two questionnaires this morning. I filled them all out. So we are going through the process of getting the DAO incorporated fully and get the license. And I also have to go back again to complete some formalities. You have to do them in person in order to get the bank account and things like that. So I'm going back to Dubai on November the 28th to complete that. So we will have a fully incorporated DAO in Dubai, which has really great crypto laws. By the way. I really like what I found there, and I think it's the right place for us, especially because many other companies are incorporating there. So I am waiting on the license. As soon as I have it, I will tweet it out and you'll see it, and it'll be great. Um, so the cost of the overall cost of the license, the lawyer, and everything was $25,000, and I just paid that out of my pocket. The DAO paid $0. So okay, so that's the first thing. What other things happen in Dubai? Well, you probably saw tweets and videos, etc., of the event we had, which was an awesome onboarding Web3 event, and had a really, really good team on the ground that helped put it together. There was uh, Subodh, Walid, Riva, Alham, and Ivana. It was wonderfully put together very, very quickly. with a few of them doing all the heavy lifting. I'm very, very grateful to them. We got a bunch of new people there who were not even into Web3. And Wally did a great presentation where live we went through the process of onboarding them. So we showed them uh, how to download the Rainbow Wallet on their mobile, create create a new account, write down their seed phrase. We actually handed out paper and pencils for people to write them down, and then get some ETH in there, and get onboarded. And some of them also purchased their Dreamer Pass that day. It was really, really cool. So I like that event as a model of something that we can replicate other places also, because the more people we onboard to Web3, more artists rather we onboard to Web3, the better it is. So that also led me to think about having a regional hub to work on focused sort of events that are local. And so we'll look at that team to be sort of a quote unquote Dubai hub. It's not anything formal yet, but I think it would be nice within the operations guild to have city specific hubs. And so we're going to do that for Dubai. And maybe we can do that in other cities also, and we can have regional hubs where there's enough people that can have events and, have some fun. And what the DAO can do is provide marketing, financial support, guidance, etc. Whereas people on the ground locally actually connect with other people and do it. So that was another thing, the event. And my most exciting moment in Dubai is when we went to a gallery, and I posted a video of that, and listened to the gallery owner's reaction to what the DAO's vision was, etc. This is kind of really, really important because remember, Nifty Dreams DAO is an ecosystem we are creating, right? It's not just artists. We need to get museums, we need to get galleries, we need to get NGOs, and everybody to converge around this common kind of mission. And you start that off one step at a time. And uh, for me, speaking to gallery owners and actually having them validate our idea and our plan is really, really important. It's like, when you create a startup business, you don't go talk to your customers. You're just making assumptions and hoping that everything will kind of work out. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we're actually validating our ideas, etc. And it was very refreshing to hear that our plan, that as we presented it, as I pitched it, was something that they'd never heard of, was innovative, and something fresh and exciting that was actually novel that they embraced versus a bunch of NFT projects that they keep hearing about that really don't do a whole lot. And I think the difference is that our project focuses on people, whereas most projects focus on things, like mainly NFTs. Like NFTs are a thing, yes, but our focus as a DAO is on people, artists. That's what we care about the most. So I just got an email from them today. I've submitted sort of our plan to them, and they want to follow up about having a discussion about being a benefactor. This is how it starts. You start off small, you start off with one, two, three, four, then you learn a little bit, and then you build from there, and you start. It becomes a bigger tour. Also, if you heard the discussion we had last week on Discord, uh, we are starting to do all these meetings like more in public now. So in the Discord meeting last week, we had the Grand Chaco team talk about how we are going to focus for the rest of the year on courting our South American impact investors. So there is an event from the 10th to the 13th in Buenos Aires in Argentina, which unfortunately I cannot make due to family commitments. But we're going to try and see if I can make a virtual presentation there because there's a lot of investors in one place that we can talk to. So anyway, we'll move forward on that also. Let's see, what else am I forgetting in Dubai? I think those were the highlights there. Like I said, I'm going back on November 28th for about 10 days, I think, and that will be all entirely like sort of Nifty Dreams focused. We'll be meeting with more galleries and trying and talking to more potential benefactors and things like that, and trying to move the needle forward. I see a lot of familiar faces here in the comments and also on Twitter. Hi to all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so glad to chat with you today. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is probably something that um, is important. Uh, when you travel, you try and keep everything going at the same time, but it's really hard, like, especially with the time zone changes and all that. But I just wanted to let everyone know to refocusing my attention on the Dream Forever project this week and working with our tech team to get that off the ground. So I apologize that it's been a bit slow, but there's only so much time in a day and so many things you can do, and I'm doing the best I can. But we are refocusing our efforts on that. So that is the update on that. But a bigger update is on the token. So I talked to Prabhu, who's been working on our token, and he's mainly now at this point working on sort of the staking part. But the base token, with which is very simple, is done. The vesting part is done, and I wanted to kind of share with you the fact that we've actually made the repo public, so you can start watching the progress on it. So give me a second here, and I'll share my screen. I'm sorry, but on Twitter Space you won't be able to see this, but on the YouTube stream you will. Give me a second here, and I'll talk through it so even the people on the Twitter Space can understand. Okay, so I'm sharing with you right now the github.com/niftydreams. And let me zoom this in a bit. Let's see here. Yeah, so there's only one public repo there at the moment. There's a bunch of private repos, and the only reason they're not public is probably because we're embarrassed of the code. We should probably clean it up a little bit, and then we'll make them public. But here you can see the Nifty token repository, and this basically has a couple of contracts right now. There's one more contract that's going to come in here that Prabhu will drop in there as soon as he feels comfortable with with it. It's not super clean right now, but I'll ask him to drop it in there anyway. So there's the actual token, and in the token, uh, you can see that, like, if you're familiar with Solidity Code, you can see it's an absolutely really, really basic contract. We are doing nothing specific that's different from the standard ERC20 spec. So there's not much there. But here in the vesting contract, you can see that we've got all the code for essentially granting tokens to people and then having them vest over a period of time. That's kind of important because that is how the model is. That when you get the contracts, they are locked for a year. We call that a cliff. So whenever you see the word cliff in the contract, that's what that lock is about. And then they vest over time. So they vest dynamically. So it's not like monthly or weekly or anything. They vest per second. So at any given time, you can go and see how many more tokens have vested. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term vesting, vesting really means that a token that was granted to you but was not yet available for you to act on, to transfer, etc., is now available. So vesting is very standard with startups. Like, for example, in Silicon Valley, if you create a startup, you get assigned stock options or equity, and that equity vests. So the idea is that you don't just get all the equity in lump sum at once. You have to continue to stay with the organization in order for that to vest. So it's similar to that. What we don't want is to create a scenario where we give a bunch of tokens to people and they immediately go dump them and the whole token collapses, and that's not good for anyone. What we want to have is a very healthy ecosystem where the people who are in it are actually working for the success of the ecosystem, and where you're a long-term player and not an immediate, like, here, get this token and flip it kind of player. None of us are thinking of it that way. What we want is to essentially have these tokens and have them vest over time. So I will talk to Prabhu today and get an estimate on when the staking part is ready. And as soon as that's ready, we'll run through some audits. So there are two kinds of audits. There's automated audits, which usually take around 6 to 10 hours, depending on the complexity of the contract. You just hit go and it does a bunch of tests, etc. And then there's a manual audit we'll do. And once we feel that we are comfortable with that, We'll go ahead and set a date, and then we'll start. Uh, we'll execute a strategy to drop those tokens. So what's going to happen initially is because the tokens are locked. What will like you can't do much with them in your wallet, right? Because they are locked. But you do want to see what the impact of the staking is, etc. So we'll create a dashboard page for you, so you can see the computations, and you'll see the code for that also show up here, probably in the same repo. So you can monitor your tokens and what's going on. So there's a question here about when do we get the tokens in our wallet? I will ask Prabhu to give a date on that and get back to you as quickly as possible. But we know this is important to you, so we do want to expedite it. But keep in mind that the token in your wallet is a feel good thing because they are locked right now. It doesn't do a whole lot. Also, the tokens you earn that are liquid, you can't really exchange them yet because the DAO has to provide liquidity, but we don't have liquidity yet, which brings us to the next topic, which is capital, right? Like the most important thing for us to do is to get some capital in order to spend. Like so far, I have been providing all the capital, and I'm kind of at the point now where I need others to step in, the others being benefactors, and start funding the DAO because it is unfair for one person to essentially be paying for the operation of this DAO. If the DAO is going to succeed, it needs to be a community effort. It needs to have more people. It can't just be about me. I'm happy to continue to support in small ways, but in fact, one of the things that you should know is that when the DAO needed to get bootstrapped, I put together a small team. You've probably seen them around, and I was paying that team a regular salary in order to get us to the point where we are. But now that's tapering off, right? I'm tapering off funding. I want to move the operations of the DAO more to the community level where other members of the community are starting to pick up and do things. And that's where some of the contributors, the volunteers are kicking in now. So there's this transition period where the paid folks are sort of stepping back, and the contributing volunteer folks are stepping in. Now, those folks, you just need to project out a little bit. So those folks will be earning tokens eventually, but we want to make sure those tokens that you are being paid for your contribution, at least some portion of them are liquid, right? And in order for them to be liquid, the DAO has to provide liquidity. But it comes down to capital. Where do we get capital from? So there's two sources for our capital. One is the Dreamer NFT sales. So the original idea was to sell these 10,000 NFTs at 25 bucks each and get $250,000 in, which would be our operating capital, which would help fund a marketing campaign for the benefactors, which was the second part of the capital. And that was where we get the $5 million. Now, we all know that the Dreamer part of it was very slow. It didn't happen at the scale and at the speed we wanted, but that's life. Things happen. You hit the market and you realize that okay, well, as there's not as many artists interested or aware or understand enough about the DAO to be willing to jump in. I feel like it's about understanding more than anything else because the DAO's mission is about getting everyone a stable income. So then the next step would have been to get the benefactor sale going, but because we didn't get that initial capital, everything that follows, marketing, everything about that is now much, much lower because we have to do it without resources. We have to kind of just do it with volunteers and without marketing and without promoting and things like that. So everything's going to be much slower now, and it's all because the initial capital that we wanted to get in has not uh, come in. So, but that doesn't matter. Like slower is okay. It's a bear market anyway. We can take it slow and move things forward. As you can see, in fact, our benefactor mint page is already up, and I tested it out. Here, I'll kind of show you. One second. And yeah, so we haven't sort of publicized this yet, but we will. But you can see that the mint page is up at the various levels for the benefactors. You can actually go ahead and mint now. And I tried it out. I bought four patron um, passes in order to fund the initial purchase of the Grand Chaco NFT. So I wanted that to come through the DAO, so I did that via actually buying some patron passes. So the test works. It's good. Uh, okay, yeah. So now we are into this phase where we are continuing to sort of focus on the dreamers. We are getting them slowly, one at a time, through partnerships and things like that. Uh, but we need capital, and so the benefactors is our core focus, and we just have to start selling those passes in order to get capital in, so we can start DAO operations. So, I get questions all the time about like, why is this not done? Why is this not done, etc. And the answer is always, well, we don't have capital. Until we get capital in, it's really hard to get volunteers to perform some of these services. So where we can, we are doing that, but it isn't always possible. So here's a question. Sharma asked, Nick, can you tell us about passive income about those tokens? We said even though they are staked, they will be passive income. Yep. It's not that even though they are staked, it's even though they are locked, they will be passive income. Yep. So your passive income, though, you will be earning tokens from the staking, but think about it. Think about what I just said. The DAO has to provide liquidity for those tokens to be worth anything. So you will have your locked tokens that you got as part of the airdrop, and by staking those, which will be auto staked, you will be earning unlocked tokens. However, what can you do with those tokens? Well, until the DAO provides liquidity, you can hold them in your wallet, and that's about it, right? This goes back to everything goes back to capital. We have to get capital in order to start this DAO operating according to the plan we have, but that has been very slow. So as soon as the capital, we start um, getting benefactors in, getting capital in, the DAO will start providing liquidity, and then all of this will come into play. But uh, this is there's a series of events here that has to happen, and every step has to go right in order for everything to be executed. So we are doing everything possible with very very limited resources. The next question is, so what happens if we don't reach 10,000 artists and we don't have capital? Will DAO shut down? So remember, I just expressed that the Dreamer NFT drop was around getting 250K, which is a trivial amount of money given the scope of what we are doing here in order to fund the marketing, etc. So uh, we don't have that capital, but we are raising benefactor capital. So the question is, will the DAO shut down? No, the DAO is not going to shut down. The DAO is going to look. There is a vision here. There's a business plan here. Uh, you don't, if you're confronted with adversity, you don't just say, okay, I'll just go, you know, roll over and like shut things down. No, that is not how the world works. You keep going. You figure out new ways. You figure out alternate pathways to succeed because the vision is unchanged, right? Like market, like if you're a startup founder, you're going to deal with adversity all the time. I deal with that all the time. Market conditions, things seldom work the way they are supposed to. You can plan all you want, but they don't. So, what do you need to do? You need to react. You need to adjust. You need to adapt. You need to find alternate ways. And you keep moving forward. That's what we are going to do. Keep moving forward. So, the idea of shutting down the DAO is not even a possibility, not even a remote possibility. We're just going to keep on moving forward. So hopefully that answered that question. Yeah. So like I know that as artists, you have not gone through this cycle before. I've gone through it many times, but any business owner will tell you that they create plans, etc., but then the market changes, or some calamity happens, or someone falls sick, or someone quits, etc. What do? You can't just say, "Oh, game over." No, that is not how it works. These are high stakes things. We are creating something for the long term. It means you figure out a solution and you move forward, right? That's basically what it is. So yeah, we're gonna keep on working and keep on moving forward as quickly as we can. So for me, uh, I'm looking for nuggets of validation, and so every time I speak to a potential gallery or a potential NGO, and they are like, "Oh, this is interesting. This is great. It means we have a we have someone else who validates the business plan." Now, here's the reality of it. All right, we're dealing with entities that are really not crypto native. So galleries, museums, NGOs, right? They have boards, they have uh, trustees, etc., that go through an approval process, and ultimately they wire funds, etc. Hence, this is why I'm so focused on getting this Dubai incorporation done and the bank account done, because that's how we get capital in. We will create custodial wallets for them for their NFTs. A custodial wallet is where a third party holds the NFT for them. But in order to get capital in, we have to get fiat capital in right now. We are not able to just get, we can't wait for these entities to get on board with crypto, get an institutional crypto account, get it funded, all of that. Like if someone is willing to be a benefactor today and they don't have any crypto, we are going to accept fiat, create a custodial wallet for them, give them their NFT, and accept their funds and convert them into crypto for our needs. So that's how that that works. So hopefully that uh, makes sense to you. I know if you've never kind of dealt with crypto at scale, it doesn't. But if you're a business, you can't just go create uh, like an account on, I don't know, Coinbase or Finance or whatever. You have to go through a lot of due diligence that they do. I remember when I got my Gemini account and my Circle account for the Syntology Mother startup, it took like 8 weeks. Yeah, about 8 weeks roughly of answering lots of different questions before they approve that account. So it's not at all easy. For an individual, also, it might take a couple of weeks, maybe less, but for businesses, it takes a lot longer. So we don't want to wait that long. So anyway, long story short, uh, things are moving forward, uh, slower, but continuing to move forward, and we'll just continue to promote and you know get dreamers in. We are working, as I said, on the tokens. The code should be completed ASAP. I'll get a firm date from Prabhu, and we'll publish a release date on that, and then just execute on the various other things that we want to. Like, but our focus is going to be on. We'll continue to focus on getting dreamers, but that's a parallel track. uh, the urgency has now moved to the benefactor area because that's where we can get the most capital from. Because even with the dreamers now, with the drop in price of Ethereum, uh, each one is less, right? It was $25, and now it's like 20 or maybe less. I don't know what the exact price. I'll look it up. But I expect that we'll continue to get a stream of those. And in fact, as we do some of the PR, bigger announcement, I expect more people will come in, and we'll also start partnering with other DAOs, etc., and get more people. All right, let's see if there's any more questions. Um, and let's see here. Nifty Dreams hubs should start everywhere. Must be able to canvas members both online and offline. So that first priority should be given to promotion. Yeah. Uh, so here's the thing, right, guys? It's important to note that this is a community and it is not a sort of top-down run organization. If you feel that there's something interesting that you want to do, etc., go into Discord, talk about it, promote it, and just do it. That's the beauty of a DAO. You don't have to wait around for anyone to give you permission to do something. Just do it. Uh, that's how open source projects work. That's how DAOs work. You don't wait for quote unquote official permission to do anything. You are, in the DAO, you get a few people together, you agree on something, make a plan, and then make it happen. So that's basically how things work. Um, Here it is. Looking for the questions. I think I've answered all of them. So, yep. Um, I don't know if there's some questions on the space here. that's about my 30 minutes here. I thank you all for joining, and once again, happy Diwali, and I'll catch you on Discord. Stay tuned on Discord because we are doing a call, I think this week, if I'm not mistaken, on some of the projects, etc. So what we do there is we use a stage in the Discord, and we hop on there, and we just have a meeting, and you can hop into that meeting and listen in, and you can provide feedback also if you like. And that's how most DAO meetings are going to be moving forward. So thank you all for attending. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you on Discord or on Twitter. See ya. Bye bye.